Good morning to Nick Powell hanging out with us this morning. Nick, we appreciate you coming in, and thanks for all that you do. And we're going to introduce you to all the listeners here in a moment. So thanks for coming in.
You're welcome. Good morning, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, is this earlier for you, or is this like the normal time that you wake up in the morning?
Typical timeline to get up in the morning.
All right, there you go. Well, Nick, what's your official title there at Standard Lumber?
I am the estimator at Standard Lumber in Ludington.
All right, and we're going to give you some shout outs. You want to just get the shout outs out right away, because you said that when you came into the studio this morning, like, hey, can I do some shout outs?
I'll give a quick shout out to my beautiful wife, Jessica.
Okay, very cool. There you go. Jessica, how you doing this morning? And is she awake at this point, or is she like, you just go in?
She is.
Okay, all right. Well, we wanted to chat with you a little bit because this is part of the Lakeshore Home Builders Association member spotlight. Lakeshore Home Builders Association, covering from basically Grand Haven all the way up to Ludington, and you have been a member for a while now. How long have you been a member with the Home Builders Association now?
Probably just about a year and a half.
Okay, and well worth it. Take us through that if you don't mind.
You definitely get a good perspective on other individuals in the industry that we don't necessarily work with at the lumberyard. You get into a lot of the home sales and all the realtors and even plumbers, electricians, all the other trades that we don't sometimes deal with at the lumberyard.
Yeah,
you really get to meet a lot of great people.
And so if somebody hasn't stopped by Standard Lumber, and Janelle, let me ask this question: have you been to Standard Lumber at all?
Once, a long time ago.
Okay, so if Janelle walks back into Standard Lumber, what is the experience that they have here? What do you have there?
So when you walk in the door, the first thing you're going to see is all of our door and window displays, all of our wall coverings, everything from shingles to different sidings to, like I said, door and window manufacturers and composite decking, railing. Pretty much everything you'll need for your house, except for the plumbing and electrical side.
All right, that covers a lot for sure. The biggest question I'm going to ask you, and I mentioned this off the air, is we had those spikes, right, with the cost of materials out there. And don't mind the Department of Public Works; they're taking care of the sidewalks out there. But the spike in materials and
lumber and stuff was a big one, wasn't it?
Yeah,
lumber.
What does that look like now?
So from back when the prices were really crazy in 2020 to now, the prices are at a much more manageable level. Okay. I mean, we were seeing your OSBs and your plywoods and even your engineered wood products really going up during that time period, but they've come back down to manageable levels now.
And from your standpoint, being in the inside there at Standard Lumber, that was mainly because of COVID, because of resources that were available. Was it a difficult time from a working with the builders, working with the general public for home improvements? Take us through that time for you.
Yeah, it was definitely a challenging time with the prices, being 3, 4, 5 times what people had gotten used to over the years. It never got old to hear the builders come in and say, "Wow, these prices are outrageous." And the world kept moving forward. Buildings kept going up. I mean, it was really amazing to see the industry push forward through that tough time.
All right, products that you would say that people, we're in the middle of January or almost in the middle of January. What do you think people are searching for these days? Let's take it two ways: from the builder standpoint, and then also from the consumer standpoint for the home improvement projects and such.
Yeah, this time of year, there's not as much outside work going on. We still have builders that are going to be outside framing in these weather conditions today along the lakeshore, but a lot of interior work, flooring, wall coverings, that sort of thing. Especially kitchen remodels. Inside work definitely this time of year is a little bit more.
All right, yeah. Janelle, are you going to do any remodeling of your place?
No.
You sure? Okay.
Not yet.
You can go talk to Nick. And by the way, if you're just joining us, Nick Powell,
I think I probably need to visit Standard Lumber since I can hardly remember I think I was really young. I was probably like 8 when I was in there last, but right. I drive by it all the time.
All right. So what would you say to Janelle? Okay. What would be your pitch to get her back through the door from a Standard Lumber standpoint?
Well, if Janelle walked in and just walked through our kitchen showroom, she would definitely be inspired for some future remodels.
There you go.
That's true.
That's the way to do it.
And he goes, this girl, we're going to give her the highest. No, I'm kidding.
No.
No.
But Nick, in all seriousness, how many times does somebody come into Standard Lumber and they really don't know what they're looking for, and they are inspired by those ideas? What does that look like?
Correct. Normally they'll come in with an idea off of, Instagram, Pinterest, and have an idea in their head of what they want, their house to look like, and then they'll come in and look through the materials and go through color choices and really put it together in their mind before it actually starts coming to fruition.
That's cool. And going back to the idea of what is hot right now, is it cabinets? Is it doors? You said painting the walls, right? Or is
It's a good indoor project.
it is, yeah, absolutely. When you get to this point in the wintertime, and can you paint everything in your house, especially when your windows are closed and all that stuff? I mean, how do you go through that?
Yeah, we don't sell paint at Standard Lumber.
Oh,
But
there you go.
There
Okay,
are
sorry.
all sorts of different kinds of paints for different materials, and at Sherwin-Williams here in town, you can come up with a color to color for a material, or a finish if you want a gloss, matte. There's a paint for everything.
All right, there you go. All right, what else should we tell about the Home Builders Association and that partnership with Standard Lumber this morning before we wrap up?
So, like I said before, the important thing is our relationships with our builders who are members of the Lakeshore Home Builders Association. A few of the local prominent names that we work with a lot. You've got your Heirloom Carpentry and Constructions, your Malliotts, your Vishers.
Fresh Coast Foam, I think, was one of them.
Fresh Coast Foam. We don't really deal with Smith and Eddy Insurance, but they're a big they're always involved with everything going on. So a lot of the local power players like Christian Vogel and Matthew Six that you had on the show earlier this year. Our relationships with those builders, and making sure we service them and keep them pushing forward and trying to plan materials to be on time so their projects stay on time. That's the most important thing for us.
That's cool that you guys work all together. Like, it's not just a competition with this or that. Like, hey, I'm also looking for to insulate this or whatever. You know exactly who to go to because you have such a good relationship with everybody locally here.
Yes, and on the Lakeshore Home Builders Association website, we've got the members directory that anyone can go on and look at it, and they can filter by trades and pull up. If they're looking for certain customers, they're only going to get those to pop up, and that's one of the bigger benefits to the actual members. They can go on there if they're newer to the area or newer member. They've got that directory. They have those other quality builders and contractors and trades that they can lean on and reach out to and network that way.
All right. If you're just joining us, Nick Powell from Standard Lumber this morning. So last thing, I'll leave it to you, is what's your message to the community out there if you want them to come through the doors on a wintry day like this, or in the springtime just around the corner, hopefully. And what would you say to them?
In the world that we're living in, where price is always the biggest determining factor. We know there's certain products that we're not going to be able to necessarily compete with the big box stores, but we try to offset that with service. No one's going to out-service us for our customers.
That's very cool.
Yep.
Great message there. Let's expand on that for just a moment. And what is that service like at Standard Lumber? What is, when somebody comes through the door, what can you expect there versus somewhere else?
So if anyone comes into our store, we've got I'll call it a unique group of individuals that work at that store, all with great expertise and a lot of history. We've got a former builder, we've got an architect by trade, and several, I say, good old boys that know how to fix anything. So
and I know Jen, so she's a character herself.
Jen.
Yes. It's Jen from
Jess.
Jess.
Yes. There you go.
And you probably know our kitchens girl, Kelsey Schoenlin.
Maybe.
I was going to say, you'd probably recognize her if you saw her.
Yeah, I'm more of a face person than a name person.
But that talent there, they're knowledgeable, right?
Yeah, and that's one of our biggest assets is to act as a consultant for and try to steer people in the right direction, let them know what's what works and what typically doesn't, because we see the negatives when a product fails, and we see products that we never get callbacks on. So
all right. Love to hear that. Well, Nick, I think you did a great job. First time on the radio this morning?
Yes.
Okay, well, hey, there you go. Did fantastic job. Any more shout outs you got it covered?
Hi, Mom.
That's
waiting
awesome.
for that.
All right, they're very cool. 7:36 now on 102.7 Mom FM and Hot Country Hits 99.9. Thanks to the Lakeshore Home Builders Association. And by the way, check out their website. Make sure you do that and see all the list of the products and services, the industries out there. Those members that are willing to help you with that small project, that large project, the connecting other builders, and the best of the best right there at Lakeshore Home Builders Association. So check it out when you get a chance. 7:37 now. Check of your forecast coming up in just a matter of moments, plus a chance for you to win. Stick around for that here on 102.7 Mom FM, Hot Country